Remember, especially when driving a manual transmission, you want to go bam, bam. But you're only going 2-3 inches. You're only going clutch, 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 clutch. That's it. I'm only going a couple inches down. Clutch, clutch, second. Clutch, clutch, third. Clutch, clutch, fourth. Clutch, clutch. See how I pause in the middle?
So you're pulling that at the same time you're doing the double clutch?
Yes.
You don't double clutch then do it?
No.
Oh, then. Okay.
So the best way to remember it is you got to clutch it out of gear and then clutch it into the next gear.
That makes sense.
When
So you're like
clutch-
opening and closing the door. Pretty much.
Are you going back
Yes.
to neutral as you're going out of gear?
So you're going through neutral each time you go to a gear. Right? Look at your gear pattern. So you see neutral is between each gear.
This is the second.
I'm gonna fuck my truck
That
up.
little.
My
Rip this
personal
thing
truck.
off
I'm
and
gonna learn this
just
shit, then I'm gonna
Don't do it in your personal truck. Don't do it in your personal truck. Well, Jordan told me I had no clutches on these right here. What the hell? So in your personal truck, don't try this. Now we have students that have a manual and they'll be like, "Oh, I practiced double clutch." No, don't. It's a synchronized. You're just fucking it up. You're just messing it up. You're just doing a double clutch for nothing. Okay, check that block off. All right, safety has been established. So now you can't say I made you do it. So we went second, third, fourth, fifth. So now we're in fifth. I'm in fifth now. I pre-select. So if y'all don't know what this is your pre-select. High and low, high and low. All right, down is low. It's 1 through 5. Flip it up, it's 6 through 10. Okay? So now that this only talks to the transmission when I'm in neutral. When I'm in neutral, it'll tell me to go to high range or low range. Because this little hose, air, and everything else goes into the box and it shifts it to a high range to a low range. Alright? And the whole gears, everything starts separating. Right? That transmission is really fucking detailed. Okay? So that's where it changes. So if I'm in 5th gear, I flip it up, I'm still in 5th gear. If I take it out, now it goes chi-chi, it goes to 6. And not 6 yet, but it goes to a high range. And then, so I clutch it out of gear, and then I clutch it into 6. Now I'm in 6. Alright, and then I go clutch, clutch, 7, clutch, clutch, 8, clutch, clutch, 9, and so on. Now if I'm coming back down, then once I get to 6th gear, I drop it, I'm still in 6. Until I come out, and I bring it back over. Now I'm in 5. Makes sense?
So if you go to the same speed, just leave it at the high, or okay.
So if I'm at 8th, right, and I want to go to 7th, right? I go to 7th, 3, 6. I'm still going to these gears. I'm only going to change this down if I'm going to a lower gear, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. I got my high range, my low range. Now we talked about the up shifting, right? The down shifting is a little different. Not much. We got to add an extra step to it. Huh?
No.
You say 3? Bro. You started yesterday. Did your parents have any kids that lived? No unfortunately.
And when you start the truck, basically it's at neutral, so it's just one clutch to go to the first one?
Yes, very good. One clutch. So if I'm in the truck in the morning, I start it. Just mash the clutch, drop it in. Now if I'm on a red light, right, my clutch is all the way to my clutch brake. If I'm on a red light, flip it, go into a lower gear. I don't have to double clutch it at a red light or a stoplight. I'm only double clutching it while it's moving. If I'm stationary, I can just push in my clutch and I can do whatever I want. Alright? Until I let that clutch out and that truck starts to roll.
But put it on neutral on a red light.
No.
Mm-mm.
No. So at any time you are at a stoplight, wherever you're at, it always has to be in gear. Always has to be in gear. Okay? So if I'm rolling up to that stoplight and I'm in fifth, I stop right before I stop, right? Clutch, brake, and I stop. Alright? And then I'll go to, let's say I'll go to third. And then I'll take back off again. And then I'll go through the gears again. And then when I stop again, clutch, brake, stop. You'll always want to add your clutch and then your brake.
And then you can't go down from 5 to 1, or you can.
Yes, once I'm stopped, I can. If I stopped in 5, I can just have that clutch matched in, bring it over to 1, and take back off again. It's a good question. Something I haven't covered before. So when we say rolling up to a stop sign, you don't want to ride that clutch. Right? That's what I'm talking about, riding the clutch. We're coasting up to it. Right? I would tell you that's a fail. You cannot coast more than the length of the vehicle. Yes. The more the length of the vehicle, you cannot coast. Coasting is riding that clutch all the way to the floor and just, or being in neutral. For the length of the vehicle, you cannot do that. Now, how do we fix that? You just wait till the last minute. Wait till the last minute. If you roll up on that stop sign, stop sign here, that white line right here, you roll up, clutch, brake, stop. Now mind you, you shouldn't be going fucking 85 miles per hour, right? You should be, at this point, you should be about 10 or 15 miles per hour.
You're just taking your foot off of the gas and letting it throttle
Yes.
down.
Let it slow you down. Let it slow you down. Alright, where do we get off? Oh, the downshifting. Downshifting is a little different. This is where we're definitely matching up our speed to our gear. Definitely matching that up. So we're going to add extra step. So we're going to go clutch, rev, clutch. We're still going to clutch it out of gear and into the next gear. But now we're slowing down. So that RPM is not going to be up there. So how do we get that RPM up there? We got to fucking rev it. Alright? So that is, if I'm in 8th gear, I clutch it out of gear. Right? Now I'm in neutral. I rev. Boom. Get it up to past 1,000 RPM. Alright? Boom. Clutch. Gear. Alright? Clutch. Rev. Boom. Clutch. Gear. So that is matching. So if we're coming out of 9th gear, 45 miles an hour, we got to slow down to get to 8th gear, slow down to 35 miles an hour in order to go to 8th gear. Now, does it have to be at 35? No. It could be a little below it. I would not recommend going 36 or 37. Now, does that mean it's not going to go in there? Yeah, it'll probably go in there. All right? But they give you that hard, they give you those hard numbers. Why? Because what they do is, that's all they did. 3 plus 5 is 8. 2 plus 5 is 7. Okay? That's the easiest way to figure it out when you're driving. What gear? Like, hey, how fast are you going? 25. What gear you need to be in? 6. Okay. What education system did you go from? Georgia. Georgia number what, 49th in this fucking country? No offense to people from Georgia. I don't think anybody is. Anybody? From Chicago. You're from Chicago?
Born and raised,
Okay.
but I lived in North Carolina for the last 10 years.
What are you, Fort Bragg?
No, I just lived in North Carolina.
Oh, okay. Shit, dude. I had some, I used to live up there in North Carolina. I was never stationed there. North Carolina ain't too bad. The whole South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia thing is like right fucking there.
Yeah.
What they call that, the Bible Belt? Bible Belt. That's that whole Southern Baptist thing. So I bring up stuff like that. My wife has a master's in theology, not theology, but ministry. And so I learned a lot in the last 7 years, more than I should. But there's nothing wrong with that. She did a great job. Got her master's in ministry. So now she's moving over to counseling.
She's looking at doing like mission work.
No, it's more like no, it's more she was trying to get into the whole counseling, like
Oh, okay. Trouble
teenagers
kids.
and veterans and this, that, and the other. So it's pretty interesting. But yes, I definitely learned about a lot of different, that aspect of it. Fuck my life. Clutch, rev, clutch. I get fucking distracted by shiny objects. Start talking about damn Georgia, their education system. Alright, any questions on the clutch, rev, clutch? We gotta get to that RPM up. But that also means that we cannot overdo that RPM. If you rev the shit out of that, it's not gonna do it. It's, huh? There you go. We call it a baby rev. Now, when we say baby rev, the baby rev is for these gears. Alright, we do a baby rev. Alright, which means that right about 1,000. Alright, right about 1,000. Now for these, we do a high rev. Which means that I'm gonna get about 12 to 15. So which means I'm going, whoom. Alright, that is the issue that I saw yesterday with 2 students. They weren't revving. So what they were doing is, and they were doing, how can I, they're doing that, right? They're trying to do that hesitating rev. And when I say rev, and they're gonna tell you out there, rev it. That means your foot, boom. Like if you're at a stoplight, you're getting ready to race that Prius, boom, right? That's only the rev you need. Right? You don't want to go, you don't want to build up to it. It's just boom, one hard rev. But once that revs up, get ready, clutch gear. If you go rev and that summons drops, and then you go clutch gear, it's gonna scrape. It's gonna grind. Alright?
So with the trucks on the accelerators, are they electronically operated or are they like mechanically operated from the metal? 'Cause I know in my car it's just it's plastic with a sent a signal.
Oh, so this is actually, I'm not gonna say it's a throttle cable, right? Like it does run into a Simpson box, right? But it's also on a rod, right? It's sort of on a rod and it goes up. So some of them plugs in, and it's still a sensor that goes to the engine and everything else and controls that. But like, can you over rev it? Yes, you can. But it's not like it controls the butterflies in the transmission. It's not like whoa, 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 you know what I'm saying? It's already has that pre-formatted set signal that says, all right, you hit the gas. Now, so yes, it is going to be electronic. Okay. Now that's not on every truck. Some truck is still cables and wires and everything else. But it's like some of these newer trucks that got out here, yes, it's all very censored. Anything else? That's it. No other questions? have to slow down. So we did say clutch, rev, clutch. Alright? And that's how we abbreviated it. But, how do I get to that speed that I need to get to? If I'm going 55 miles an hour, how do I get to 45?
Gotta slow down.
Let off.
Let the gas,
Let
let
off
off the
gas.
gas.
Well, gas, shake brake if you have it, if you need it. There's another pedal.
Use the brakes.
What the fuck? Use the brake pedal, bro. Man, I don't know how many times we've talked about this. Y'all think that you drive a manual, that brake does not exist anymore. That brake is there for a reason. If I'm going 45 miles an hour or 55 miles an hour, if I hit the brake, it's not going to stall the truck. It's not. It's going to slow you down. Slow you down, slow you down. Now, we're talking about two different types of braking, right? So there was two that you read about, right? What were they?
Emergency braking.
Control.
It's but emergency braking is right, but that's not really.
That's the
Yeah, that's almost like a stab. But control braking is make sure that we get under the speed limit a little bit, right? About 5 miles an hour, we control it. And it says, let off of it right before it locks up. Fuck, hopefully we don't get to that point. So if I'm going, I'm like, slow down. Just like your car, slow down. And then I get to that speed that I want, 45 miles an hour. All right, I'm in 10th. Clutch, rev, clutch. Now I'm in 9th. Now, once I let my clutch out, that engine compression will start slowing me down a little bit. Now I can tap the brake a little bit more, get me down to 35 miles an hour. And what we don't want to do is like, I need to get to 30. Alright, now I do it. Alright, it's just that lightly tap. Use your brake. So Mr. Irvin, and I totally agree with him, now we changed it. It's brake, clutch, rev, clutch. Brake, clutch, rev, clutch. Now these brakes are ran off of what?
Hydraulic.
Air or hydraulic, right? Okay, so that means they're quick, right? That air brake, if you're not familiar with driving air brakes, it'll put you through the windshield. That has happened from the people from the back seat in the sleeper. I've been there. But the student didn't have a seatbelt on, which they should have the seatbelt on. And the student got nervous and hit his brakes. And I happened to catch it with my peripheral because I'm like a ninja. I caught him. Now, there's other instructors that did not catch him. And he was up in the dash. Alright, just laying up on the dash, just hanging out, getting the suntan. Okay, so, yes, the fucking air brakes will throw you through the windshield. So, brake, get down to your speed that you want, and clutch. Now, when we say that, to the speed that you want, we want to get to the speed that we want before we downshift. So if I'm in ninth gear, I'm not going to clutch it out and then hit my brake, because what am I at? I'm in neutral, and now I'm about to fail. I want to get to 35, or I'm sorry, 45, or maybe 40. All right, yep, I'm at 40. Now I'm good. Clutch, rev, clutch. All right, now I'm good. Because we've seen that. They're like, all right, downshift. And they'll fucking quick to pull it out of gear before they realize what speed they're at. And then, I don't understand what's wrong with this truck. Buddy, you're going 25 miles an hour, you're trying to put in a fifth gear. It's not going to work. Now, can you skip gears? You can. What is the biggest factor?
Speed.
Weight, speed,
Nope.
grade. Driving.
But no, you have. Regardless of the weight and speed, you have the whole speed. I can skip whatever I want as long as I match my road speed. If I match my road speed, then I can do whatever I want to do. Now, what does it mean? Will it lug? Sometimes it will. Right? If you're trying to go from 9th to 6th, fuck, dude, it's gonna be right? It's gonna lug a little bit. Right? But we don't recommend going like skip all the way down to 1. There's no way, dude. You'll end up stalling before you do that. So if you went from 9 to 7, that's doable. That's doable. Or from 8 to 6, that's doable. I would not skip from a high range to a low range. That's just too much of this. And then look at it. 5th gear is at 10 miles per hour. Way too slow. Right? You're going from fucking 35 to 10. Good luck, everyone. But what? Slow down. Slow down a little bit. I would not recommend. Now, what gear do I need to stop in? At a stoplight or a red light. I'm sorry, that's the same thing. Stop sign.
3.
I'm hearing 3. You're saying 3? Both of you are saying 3?
I said 2 just to be different.
2?
Low gear.
I guess,
However
whatever
long
you
Oh my
can
God,
stop
neutral.
safely
ride the clutch
after
while
you.
you're in the vehicle.
Huh?
However long you didn't ride the clutch while you're in the vehicle.
Okay. Okay.
Right, so I can't stop in Ford because it's 7 miles per hour. Me riding the clutch in like that, I feel like I probably wouldn't. Right, I've coasted too long.
Okay. You're getting your roll. Pretty close. So we're saying 3, you're saying 2. Anybody else? 6?
Okay. That's crazy.
Different opinion.
6? I'll tell you, he's closer to anybody else.
Who's 6?
5.
Fuck. Now we're going backwards. Alright.
It's 3. Just let us know.
So Mo was hitting it and he talked a little bit about it. Y'all were on the same track. Alright, you have to think about the whole situation. You have to think about alright, sorry it's not the scale. If this highway is 40 miles per hour and I'm driving yellow, red. What gear? Huh? So what gear did I stop in? Damn it, you just fucking said it.
8.
Guys, if you know a planned route, you see the stop sign, you can gauge yourself a little bit better. A red light. I'm here. Do I run it? No. It was probably yellow, then it went red. Unless I fucking can see the future, that means I would have to start downshifting out here while it was still green. Right? Nobody's saying that you have to be down a certain gear. A safe stop.
Change it as when you stop. Basically. Yeah. Back to
So I stopped in 8th gear. I reset. I went back to 3rd. And then I took off.
What if you can't safety stop?
Well, what are you going to do? You going to slide through it? No, I don't know. I mean, if you can't, what's a safety, what if you can't safely stop? So you're talking about the threshold of when do we run it? You don't run it, but if worst case scenario, I'm not going to give you a measurement because there's really no measurement in the book. If I'm right here, or even right here, and it's still yellow, then yes. Right? If I'm staying at 40 miles per hour. But there's that word. you're back here. It's green, it's green, it's green, and you're going fucking half a mile.
You know it's coming.
Right? That's where you downshift. Now, do you have to downshift all the way? No. I downshift maybe 1 gear. If I'm running at 8, I drop it down to 7 and mentally prepare myself like, this motherfucker might change. It might change, and then I'll stop. Right? If it doesn't change, but I'll continue to go through it in 7th gear and maybe shift up to 8th gear and power through it. So, it's a judgment call, right? If you're going 40 miles an hour. Now, what they don't want is you to be right here and it be yellow and you step on the gas. Boom! To try to power through that yellow light. You're done. That's guilt. If you could power through it, why didn't you try to power and stop it? Alright? Now, if you maintain 40 miles per hour and it changes, 40 miles per hour. There's nothing you can do about it. If you get to that point where it's yelling like, fuck it, I'm going to just speed up. They'll be like, dude, you could have stopped. You're like, you don't tell me what to do. I do my own shit, bro. But you don't
Without
tell
a
me
license.
face. Alright. Does that make sense? We stop in any gear we want to. Alright? Any gear we want to. But understand the higher range, 9th and 10th, it's going to log a little bit. So if that light turns red and you don't have time to downshift, clutch brake, stop. Reset, drop it down to a lower gear, and then take back off. If you have time, if you're in traffic and you see it, they're all stopping there, yes. Go from 8 to 7, 6, right? I would not go any lower than 6 until you stop. Alright, because now you're looking at, you're damn near almost crawling. Stop in 6, reset. Now, we say reset. I say that a lot. This is what happens. I stop in 6. I go to 3rd. Did I go to 3rd? What gear did I go to? 8. Alright, let's go. Boom. Every time you stop, drop your splitter. Drop your splitter. I hold, and a lot of people don't like it, I hold my shifter like this, with my splitter between my 2 fingers. So when I'm driving, I just flip it back and forth, flip it back and forth. And then when I stop, I drop it down. When I go to 5, I flip it up, pre-select. Alright, and I'm over to 6, I want to go down, just drop it. Now some of y'all will hold the shifter like this. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to tell you how to hold the shifter. Alright, but understand that you've got to push that into that gear, into that slot. Right? You got to push it. You just can't. Like, we have had that. We have not had it this class, but we've had that. Where the shifter, some students are afraid of it. They think that it's so delicate that they are afraid to touch it. Go that way. Go that way. I've been there. And it's the males.
Yeah.
No, Rico. No. No. Right? And then there's some people that manhandle it. Like you can see everything flexing. Like you can shift this thing with 2 fingers. You can bring it up, bring it back. Right? You'll feel where it drops in. You'll feel each motion of it. You don't have to force it. Alright? And another bad habit y'all get when y'all go to neutral, y'all think you have to do this. You have to shake it. You don't have to shake it. You have to go to neutral each time you go to the gear. So you just keep it straight and go. Alright? Don't go from 6 and go 7, 8. Yes, I call that Michael J. Fox. Relax. Let's relax with it. Just shift it normal. Okay? shift it normal. Makes sense? Any questions on that? Okay. So we can't coast no longer than what? Length of the vehicle. Very good. And we have to be in gear at what?
Stop.
At all times.
Oh.
Always have to be in a gear at all times. Don't sit there at red light. Like, I don't care if the red light's taking 20 hours. Right? Just make sure you're in gear. Now, we only say that on the test. Believe me, I've been in traffic in Seattle where I just throw that into neutral and just sit there and just coast. Right? But for the test, you want to make sure you're in gear. Alright? You're always going to be in gear.
You said we can't shift and turn.
Yes, we haven't even got to that yet, but thank you for asking. So you cannot shift in a turn. You can only shift before the turn or after the turn. Before or after. Alright, so what does that mean? That means that I have to, and how slow do I want to go around a curve or a turn? We'll say turn more than a curve.